Hello and welcome back to Strong Woman High's Dash Life's a Mishmash. Today we have extra special guest all the way from Germany, my other favourite weird bitch, Sabrina Retzer. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you?
Yes, very good, thank you. So, do you want to give a little bit of an elevator pitch to everybody who's listening, a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you're all about?
I can do this. So, I'm Sabrina. I'm 29 years old. I'm from Germany. Um, and that's already it. I,
That's not
I'm,
true.
yeah. I'm doing Strong Woman since 2019. It's still only a hobby. And I'm working full time as a technical engineer,
Wow.
so it's really still a hobby.
Yeah, definitely not paying as much as a technical engineer, I would imagine.
No.
Not quite. Nah, cool. Awesome stuff. So, do you want to get straight into it then? What's been your strong woman high, Sabrina?
I really thought about this question because the whole last year was kind of a high for me.
Yeah.
So started with getting my entry for Europe's, doing record breaker in Germany, doing worlds. It was kind of a whole year high.
Yeah, 100%. So, Europe's is where I first met you as well, wasn't it? But that was 2022? 2022 Europe's, where you did the Opens. Is that right?
23 was my first year Europe's,
Yeah,
but it's an
that's it. Yeah.
open, yes.
Yeah. And then, so what made you make the switch down to 82s then?
To be more competitive. So I started with Strong Woman and I didn't had any goals at all. So I only wanted to, yeah, I really didn't wanted to do it. I was forced to do it because I lost a lot of weight before I met my husband and started a lot of training, but only in the usual gym. So doing all the gym stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like, as we met, you could do this. You should do this. And
Yeah.
then I prepped for a really small competition in 2019. Um, and it was awesome. And
Yeah.
that's where I decided to stick to it. And honestly, for me, COVID and the lockdown was quite helpful because I had a lot of time to train.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have had this without it. So um, I really put in the work. And then
Absolutely.
I thought, yeah, I didn't want it to think about training and losing weight at one time. So I stuck to the Opens in 2023. But then I thought, nah, with 92 kilo I had there, I'm not competitive in the open class.
Fair.
But for the first time, it was totally fine. I gained a lot of experience, and then I decided I will switch to the weight class.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's really interesting. I think you've done it in the best way that you could
Yeah,
have done by doing the opens, having a little bit of a more relaxed year, getting
yeah.
into your international competing, and then cutting down a weight class. Because we're pretty much the same person, aren't we? You're just much more jacked than me, so we're not particularly tall athletes, are we? And like
No,
I sit about 90 kilos most of the time too, so it does make sense to make that drop into 82s, doesn't it?
no. Yeah, and I decided if I drop, I want to hold on to the weight. I don't want to cut for every competition.
Yeah.
So I'm always staying at around 82 kilo.
Yeah, yeah. You're very sensible, very sensible. And so did your husband already do strongman then when you were getting into it?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Only on local competitions, but he's not that much into competition. He likes to train and he likes to train strongman, but he don't like to compete. He is always the back bitch and travel with me and do all the stuff around, but he don't like to compete that much.
Fair.
So it's fine.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. And what do you like about competing so much then? If your husband doesn't like it, what do you like about it?
Good question. I I enjoy to bring on a stage what I worked for. So to be able to yeah, I don't know how to say, um, but to prepare and be able to get it on a comp floor and do the same again, but under different circumstances.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
yeah, like showcase your prep.
Yeah, yeah. And meeting people. I really love to compete with good people, and it's always such a fun to compete, especially
Yeah,
international, to meet so many other athletes.
just good fun, innit?
hmm that's the really that's the main reason. So I really like to be in that circle and be around other athletes and compete together.
Yeah, it's just good environment, isn't it? A good vibe all around.
Yeah, yeah. Because I always train alone, so we don't have any huge strongman gyms or any kind of strongman gyms here. So we have all our stuff at home in our basement, in our garage.
Yeah,
So I'm used to train alone and to do everything on my own. So it's kind of a great experience to have a lot of other athletes around me.
100%. Yeah. Well, that was bringing me on to my next question then about your home gym setup, because I know you have a lot of stuff in your garage, but you
Yeah.
also have something in your living room too, don't you?
Yeah, I sit on my desk where I work from, and I'm looking straight on the squat rack. So we don't have a couch or a sofa or anything. We have a squat rack in the living room.
Amazing. Amazing. I love that.
You have to deal with what you have, isn't it?
100%. When did that come in? Was that COVID? What was that a COVID purchase?
Yeah, kind
Yes.
of always locked down and or everything was locked down and we didn't had any opportunity to train to do anything, so we decided to buy a lot of stuff. And to be fair, my husband is a welder, so almost every special equipment is built by our own.
Yeah.
So that saves a lot of money, especially as we have to import everything. There isn't
Mm,
any German company who does strongman equipment. There are kind of small companies, but it's
yeah.
expensive.
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah,
No,
we
it's really
have
cool.
what we have now.
You've got a really good setup, to be fair. You have a lot of kit. It's the
Mhm.
perfect mixture of people and minds that have met there, hasn't it, for strongman? You've
Yeah,
just got
yeah.
like such a good setup. Cool. So the other question I was going to ask you then is about your records, because you do actually hold quite a lot of records, don't you? So do you want to give us a little rundown?
Not a lot. It's to be honest, only overhead records. So I have the German open and under 82 kilo dumbbell record with a 72.5 kilogram,
Amazing.
and the overall also open and under 82 kilo log record with 106 kilo.
That's so cool. So cool. I absolutely love that. It's they're cool records to have though. They're proper
Yeah,
strongman records, them, aren't
yeah,
they?
yeah.
You
They,
won't be far off the deadlift record though, are you?
oh yes, Sunny is deadlift specialist, so that's not my jam. So that's something she can hold.
I tell you what, though, having the log record offer and the dumbbell record, I bet that was great to feel when you
Yeah,
got that.
absolutely. I really enjoyed every minute at that competition. It was in Austria, so not far away from us, and it's held by yeah, a really good friend of us, so a former strong man of Austria. Um, and it's always a great location. It's always a great venue. It's a great competition, but a really familiar competition.
Yeah.
So
No,
yeah.
that's awesome. Super cool. I love all of this. So let's move on then, and we'll do strong woman lows.
To be honest, I don't really have a strong woman low yet.
Oh my god. The first person on the podcast with no lows.
Yeah, I'm really selective with what I'm doing in strongman or in what competitions I go and where do I go and with what people I surround myself. So I really don't have a huge strong woman low.
I love that. No, that's fine. And do you feel like you've always been that? Because in my mind, you're very organized, and the way that you do things is well thought out. And you've obviously planned a lot of stuff as well. Have you always been like that, or
Always. A few years ago, you've really stressed me out with not knowing what we are talking about, because I would
yeah,
have planned everything,
yeah,
but it's got a lot better. So I can be more flexible now.
we have to be on this podcast. We've got
Yeah,
there's
yeah, yeah,
really no structure to follow
yeah.
here. So
Yeah, but I really love routines and I love structure. Especially we don't have the time to be so unorganized because me and my husband we work from yeah he's from 6 to 16 o'clock and me from 7 to 63 about, and then we go straight into training, straight into dinner, straight into going for a walk, and straight into the bed. So we need to have a structure, otherwise we don't get our things done.
yeah, that's fair. I feel like we're complete opposites in that, man, because I am the complete opposite where I'll still do all of that stuff, but there's
Yeah.
no structure or routine. It's just chaos all the time.
I can't live with chaos, really. I can't handle it.
Yeah, fair. And were your parents like that as well? Were you brought up quite in a structured upbringing?
Absolutely, my dad is way worse.
Way worse. It's like the ultimate German structure, isn't it?
Yeah,
Routine all the
yeah,
time.
yeah. I really think it's a typical German thing.
Fair,
Yeah,
fair. No, I love that. Well, we'll keep moving on then, because I'm gonna just keep asking you questions if
yeah.
that's all right. So, what would you say to yourself when you first started the sport?
Don't rush. You take your time. You have all the time you need. Uh, so yeah, that would be the thing. And stick to yourself. Look
I
at
love that.
us. Weird looking bitches.
Weird
I
looking
don't know.
pictures.
Yeah, but I've always been like this. So why should I change? Only because someone don't like it? I
Oh,
don't care.
love that. I absolutely love that. Do you not think about what anyone says then at all? Like, have you not got any of that, or is that like a struggle? Because I know that I'm similar to this, where I'm like, I don't care what anyone thinks, but there's a little part of me that's like, you do a little bit, and I do make decisions because of that.
Sometimes, especially if I'm going to places where nobody knows me
Hmm.
and I'm totally new to it, or there are a lot of older people.
Hmm.
They are always very judgy. Not
Yeah.
all, but sometimes.
Hmm.
And that's mainly places I avoid to go to,
Yeah.
like to sauna, for example. I was alone on the Women's Day at the sauna, and ugh,
No. Not the
no,
vibe.
no, no.
No.
So that's the only thing I really think about sometimes, but it don't affect me that much.
Fucking hell. Absolute
Yeah.
mental fortitude, you. Pure strength. Strength of mind. I like that.
Yeah.
Strength in body, strength in mind.
Yeah, if someone don't like how I look, how I perform, how I speak, how I don't know, it's not my business.
Yeah,
Be
I
by
love
your
that.
own. It won't affect me, and it shouldn't
Absolutely love that.
affect me.
Yeah, I love that. I love that in the idea. I'm not quite there yet myself, but I love the idea of
You
it.
you you will get there.
Eventually, it's a learned thing, I think, that, isn't it? So
Absolutely.
let's talk about being bald then, seeing as we're both bald as fuck. I actually have some hair today, because I'm on placement, so I'm in hospital all day. So I'm too
Okay.
scared to shave my head again because I think everyone will have a heart attack. So I'm waiting until after I finish. But today I met a patient today, had a little chat, did the assessment, and towards the end, my educator came over. How she got on? Yeah, lovely. She's been great. And the man went, yes. He's a lovely young man. He's a lovely young man. And I was just there like, we've been talking for 45 minutes, mate. How have you not realised I'm a girl? But
Oh,
it's one of them, isn't it? So how do you find
yeah.
being bald?
I love it still. I shaved my I always had short hair, to be honest. I only grew it once. They were this long, and I absolutely hate it. So I can't deal with hair.
Fair.
So I don't know what to do with it, and I look like I don't know, like a witch or yeah. Uh, and to be honest, I shaved my head with my sister together, or my sister shaved my head at my dad's house on Christmas 2018, I guess. No, 2017. And since then, I let it grow last year for a bit of time, but I can't handle it, so I shaved it back,
Fair. Yeah.
and I love it. I don't think there's any need I why I should have hair.
Yeah. No, I'm totally with you. I agree. I love being bald. It's the easiest thing. Just get in the shower and get out. You're done.
Yeah,
it's so easy to look after, isn't it?
absolutely. I
No.
shave my head about every 5 to 7 days, so that's the only thing, and it takes about a minute.
Yeah, super easy. Yeah,
Yeah,
100%. I think it's one of them where I think if you haven't done it and you're a woman, it is invigorating shaving your head and just having that no care in the world because it's I think a lot of people put a lot of pressure on their hair, don't they? And that they need to
absolutely.
look a certain way and their hair is saying something about them. And once you've
Yeah,
had it off, you're a bit like,
no,
no one really cares, do they?
no. If I want hair, I would buy me a wig.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
And then
because
whip it off.
that's the only thing I miss about hair to change it. Because this was a thing I always did when I was younger, color it, change it, everything. But uh, not, it's too much now for me. I don't want to deal with it.
That's
Go
very
into
fair.
the hairdresser, go in this and that. Bleh, no.
Boring. Boring. I've got other stuff to
Yeah,
do.
absolutely.
Awesome. So, what are your future plans then, Sabrina? What's like? I know you said at the beginning that you didn't really have any goals in Strongwoman. Do you have goals now in Strongwoman?
Not really. Don't get injured is the main goal. So um, that's that's the thing. Um, but otherwise, do what makes fun. I won't do any comps I don't enjoy, and I don't want to put me into places I don't enjoy. So that's the main goal. Stick to this, stick to myself, and let it flow.
Honestly, I can't believe that you're like an anomaly person, you aren't you? Not to have it. I'm just here for the funnies. I'm just here for a bit of fun. But saying that though, that has worked out well for you because you won Europe's last year, didn't you? And then second in Worlds as well, OSG Worlds, which is absolutely insane. We definitely haven't mentioned that because you didn't even add it into your elevator pitch, which is wild.
I think it's still it's not my reality still. So I still have to process that I won.
It's crazy.
I really don't know how this happened.
I do. You were mint. That's how it happened. You were absolutely untouchable.
I enjoyed Europe so much. I Same with words. I can't say what I did on the comp. So it was like a movie going past me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't
I,
even know what happened. I was just there for the ride.
I did what I did in training, and I was like, yeah, if I can do what I did in training, everything will be fine. It would be really cool to do the final day and to get to the top 10, and I didn't thought any more about it.
God, how do you do this? We need to study your brain and work out how it's working because I feel like a lot of my problems would be solved. But on that final day at Worlds, then did you expect to do well? Like, once you got into that final day and realised that you were going to make top 10 regardless, what were your feelings that day?
The final events were the Wrecking Ball,
Hmm.
the or was what was final event? No, Stones and
There
I
was something
forgot.
else. No, I can't remember either. Oh God, how do we not remember the final event at Worlds? That's so bad. It's because
What
there's
was the third event?
too many exciting things going on. Let's have a look.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it was Wrecking Ball. Throwing.
Oh
Ah,
yeah, throwing bombs. There we go. But
I
it's because it's
hate
boring, isn't
throwing.
it?
Yeah. So that was the only thing I didn't knew how it would went, because throwing was always can be good, can be absolutely shit.
Yeah.
But as it was done, I was like, okay, stick to what you did in training. I knew Wrecking Ball will be a good event for me because I trained it heavier than the Wrecking Ball was at the comp.
Yeah.
And stones, to be honest, I never ever did a stone run in my life before.
What?
I don't have the setup for a stone run, and so I only trained reps with a 130, I don't know, stone uh, to a to a higher height than it was in comp, and I thought, yeah, just do it. What should happen? You
Oh
can't
my
lose. You
God.
made it to the final. What should happen? And to be honest, uh, before I watched the live stream afterwards, I didn't know how close it was to Nadia.
Oh
I
my God.
really absolutely didn't know what was happening next to me.
That's wild.
Absolutely.
Wild.
So really in a comp I can focus totally on what I'm doing. I don't know how you say it. I'm blinding out what's around me. I don't
Yeah.
hear anything as it- only the ref. I can focus on the ref, but nothing around it.
And have you just noticed that that's a thing that you do, or have you trained for that? Have you trained to sort of do that hyper focus, block everything else out? Is that just what you
It,
like?
it's what, yeah, it's what I'm like. It's what happened by its own. I don't know how to explain it, but it was always like this. If I'm focused on one thing, I I don't notice what's around me.
Yeah, it's really useful in strongman at least.
Absolutely.
Great for competitions.
Yeah, yeah. But going into the final day was like I already made it. I made it to the final. That was all I wanted. Having such a close gap between the first few spots was
Hmm.
like, what should happen? If I came 10th, okay, I
Yeah,
made
I'm
it to
still
the
in the top
final.
10. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
No,
I
that's so cool.
I really enjoyed it. Only being there, being able to compete there, that's more of what could have expected.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. I love that. Just grateful to be there. Just having a
Yeah,
fucking great time.
absolutely.
What it's all about.
Yeah,
I wanted to ask you as well about your coaching because you were self-coached for a long time. Still
yeah.
are?
No, not anymore. I was self-coached until mid 2024. So I
Mm-hmm.
got me a grip coach in, I don't know, March, May 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because my grip was always an issue.
Yeah.
I have the smallest hands you can imagine. And grip was always something that lost me a lot of points.
Mm-hmm.
So I got me a grip coach, and I've always followed Josh. And but I was like, oh, I don't know, do I need a coach? I've came so far by coaching myself.
Yeah.
After winning Europes and knowing the events for Worlds, I was like, I don't go to Worlds. This yoke, I won't move it one step. So I don't go to Worlds.
Right.
It won't be happening. And to be honest, Luke Davies called me out in the grip coach group
Yeah.
and said, "You're so dumb. Get you a coach. You have enough time to prepare for the yoke, so go there."
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, okay, maybe I should do this.
Yeah.
And then I wrote Josh and asked for only one event coaching, so I got only the yoke coached by Josh. So
Mm-hmm.
I was self-coached until mid of 2024, so about 5 years.
Yeah.
Then got me a grip coach with r- helped a lot, really
Yeah.
helped a lot, and got me Josh for the yoke. It also really helped a lot because
Yeah.
I never thought I would finish or I would pick up this yoke at the Worlds, and I finished it. It was
Amazing.
way beyond my expectations.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And after this, I decided to hire Josh for the whole programming. So now I'm fully coached.
Nice. Yeah. I think that's a really cool way to get into a bit of
Yeah.
coaching though. How did you find what so have you got a background in sort of training or anything? How did you program yourself for the 5 years?
Most of this I learned by doing.
Yeah.
I learned what worked for me and what suits me. And I had a lot of help from my husband, but he also don't have a background in sports. He also only read about it, tried it, and so on. So 5 years, I didn't had any sports related background, coaching, or
Crazy.
anything.
Crazy.
I am a person, if I see something or someone doing a movement, I can restructure it and I don't know how to call it, but I can rebuild it for my own.
Yeah, you can like break
And
it down technically.
yeah,
Yeah.
and just do it.
Just do it. Did you do any sports prior to strongman?
No, I played handball in my younger years, so back in school. But other than this, not that much.
That is crazy. Absolutely
Uh,
crazy.
I always was a very heavy kid and a very strong kid, so I always wrestled with the boys.
Yeah.
And I think being heavy my whole youth was yeah, quite of an advantage for going into strongman
Hmm.
because I already was used to being heavy with the body weight and moving heavier stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that was the only advantage.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. That's so cool. So when you lost the weight, so when you've come from being younger and being a bit heavier and losing the weight, what was the sort of point that you decided to lose that weight? What did you do? How did you do it?
I turned vegan.
That'll work.
Yeah, yeah. No, to be honest, I was at the heaviest weight I knew I had before losing weight was about 90 kilo, but
Okay.
I was really fat. So zero muscles, zero sport. I always did sport, so playing handball, I was that heavy playing handball.
Yeah.
So yeah, um, and I decided for myself, I want to get rid of that fat. I don't want this anymore. I don't want to look like this. I want to feel like this. And I lost about 26 kilo
Wow.
from at this time I had about 88 kilo, got down to 63.
Wow.
But I didn't look healthy with 63 kilos. I
Yeah.
have a I have a really massive uh, structure and skeleton.
Yeah.
So
Skeleton. Yeah.
yeah, so wide shoulders and not a small torso, and so I really was skin with 63 kilos. So
Yeah.
other women with 63 kilos look not at all like me with 63 kilos.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I didn't lost the weight to be small. I lost the weight to get rid of the fat. So I didn't want it to be fat anymore, but I wanted to be strong and I didn't had any problem to be big,
Yeah.
but muscular big and not fat big.
Yeah. Yeah. No, fair enough. I love that. I love how like just sensible it is. Like I just don't want to be fat. Don't want to be too thin. I don't want to be fat. So I'm going to
Yeah,
be muscly instead.
yeah. And that was the right. So I dropped 26 kilos and about yeah, now 5 years between I put it back on with muscles.
Yeah.
Kind of. Also a
So
little bit of
cool.
fat,
You gotta have a
but
little bit. Gotta have a little bit.
a little bit. Yeah, but that's okay.
Yeah. It works for you, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I'm I'm not a person to be really checked and be dry from the
Yeah.
skin and from I don't have the skin type to be dry.
Yeah. Yeah, fair
So
enough. I love that. I also wanted to ask you. So now that you're with Josh full time as coaching, what do you notice the differences are between sort of your style of programming and his style of programming?
It's not that much difference. A lot of more str- technical device and technical breakdowns to movements.
Yeah.
But the main reason was that I didn't had the time to do my program. It really it took me so much time to think about what I'm doing for the next 3, 4, 5 weeks.
Yeah.
I can't can't do this anymore.
Yeah. So did you used to prep like full comp preps for yourself then? Like
Yeah,
set it
yeah,
all out week by week?
yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Amazing that you managed to do it and then get to the level that you're at now as well. That's so cool. It shows so much like determination.
Yeah. And the thing is, you find all the informations online.
Yeah.
You don't need a coach for your first comp. Go there, enjoy it, and look at people who are better than you and try it out. Try what works for you.
Yeah.
Maybe it also with me, it would have been faster if I got me a coach earlier, but I really enjoyed the progress and
Yeah.
enjoyed getting there by my own.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Well, it's rewarding, isn't it, when you know you've done it yourself as well? Like, you know you've proved to yourself that you can do it.
Yeah.
Um so when you're getting coached by Josh now then, how does he program you when you have no goals?
To be honest, I wrote down a few goals, but more of long-term goals. I want to hit the body weight dumbbell and 250 raw deadlift, and so small goals,
Yeah.
but doable goals. And yeah, that's what we are working to. And to the comps I already planned for this year.
Yeah. And so when you're planning for comps then, are you planning how well you're going to do? So what's your like thoughts going into competitions? Is it just this is what I'm going to be able to do. This is my specific personal goal for that event?
Yeah, yeah. I don't stress about who is going to the comp, who is doing what, because I can't affect it. Other
Yeah.
people would do what they do, and I can only do what I do. So I prep for the comp to be able to do in comp what I did in training.
Yeah. Nice.
So I'm also not a PR type of athlete in a comp. What I haven't done in training, I to 90% I'm sure I won't do it in comp.
Yeah. Fair.
So and that's a thing that works for me very well.
Yeah. I love that though. It's like you just it's working on yourself, focusing on yourself, and like you said, you can't change what other people are going to do, so why worry about it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I wish I could work like that. So, comps that are coming up then, what have we got coming up?
Oh, I have a list what's coming up.
Of course you do.
So the first one is the Scottish Strengths Cup, where we meet again.
Hell yeah.
The second one will be the schools under 100 kilo UK
Yeah,
show.
Scouse strength coaches. Yeah,
Yeah.
is it UK's? He's called it UK's strongest under 100 kilo woman.
hmm
Nice. That'll be good.
I will be guest lifting there.
Can't win UK's, can you? You German.
And then the next thing, I guess, will be Europe's.
Hell yeah, rematch time.
hmm Hope to defend my title.
Nah, I'm coming for it this year, me. I'm gonna give you a better run for your money than I did last year anyway. I'm gonna try a bit harder. Nah,
Yeah.
that'll be super exciting. Well, should we have a little chat about Scottish Strength Cup? Because have you got the
Yeah.
events as well? Do you know what the events are?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
perfect. We're all in the group, aren't we? So I don't know whether this has been released or if we're allowed to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it anyway because I don't care what Steven says. I'm not scared of him. So the events that we've currently got are max raw deadlift starting at
Hmm.
200 kilos. What are you planning
Hmm.
for that?
I'm not planning at this point because my raw deadlift is always a bit lower and not so steady like my suited deadlift.
Yeah,
So I already pulled last year 220 in a comp raw.
yeah.
So I hope for 230, but I really don't know.
I think you'll be fine for 230. To be honest, I'm going to attempt to just pull 200. To be honest, because I've never done it, so it'll be
You will do it.
it'll be a
You will do
surprise
it.
if we get there. And then we've got monster dumbbell for reps, so that's 50 or 60 kilos. I assume I already know which weight choice you're going to make.
Huh?
I assume I already know what weight choice you're going to make on that one.
I will go for the heavy one.
Always. Yeah, I think you'll be fine with that. To be fair, as
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
I'll aim it for the heavy one, but 60 kilos is going to be a 5 kilo PB for me. So
yeah.
we'll see, we'll try it. And then we've got bag toss. Boring.
Mm-hmm.
No one cares about that, do we? This one I'm interested on though. Sandbag to shoulder, last woman standing.
Hmm. I really don't know how I will perform on this one. I
Ooh,
never prepped for sandbag to shoulder,
yeah.
so I never actually did sandbag to shoulder.
Oh,
So we will see. I really don't know.
yeah. I'm
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 not that
excited.
bad. I'm not that bad with sandbag loading,
Yeah,
but it- the I struggle with the dip with the sandbag on my chest to get it higher in steps.
yeah, yeah.
So
Fair enough.
we
Yeah,
will see how it went.
I feel like you're probably going to be all right at that, to be honest, because you're very good at log and you're very good at dumbbell, and that's a lot of weight on chest and then having to move it very fast. So I feel like that's you're probably going to get some decent carryover for that. But that finishes. So apparently the last attempt will be 120 kilos, which I mean I've had 100. I've got 110 to my shoulder before a few years ago, so I'd be hopeful for 120, but heavy, very heavy.
Hmm.
And then we've got sandbag steeplechase. So that's 6 10-meter runs with 4 loads over 46 inches at 90 kilos. I feel like you're going to be very good at that.
I hope so, yeah. Before Europes and before Worlds, I never won any moving event. And I don't know what happened with doing all the yoke stuff Josh programmed me, but I got fast on loading.
You got real fast. You got real fast. Yeah. I can second that. Well, that was our final. Was it fine? Our final event at Europe's the loading race.
Yeah, yeah.
Where we were head to head, and I was on you, and you just did me at the end, right on the final run of the
Yeah,
sandbag load. When it caught
the
me.
same happened with Claire at Worlds. I really I don't know where I took this from, but I can't like boost myself for the last few meters. And that's where I go before the others. So
Amazing. Yeah, I hate it, but I also love watching it. I think watching you and like my ideal scenario for that would be watching you versus Laura Baxter because
mhm,
she's also very good and very fast at sandbags, and she's done amazing at steeplechase in the past. So that would be awesome.
mhm.
If I think if you guys go head to head, that would be an epic race, epic. And
Could
then the
be really interesting, yeah.
Oh, it'd be really good. That would be ideal. I think regardless of where points are on the day, we should just make you two go head to head just so we can watch it for our pure enjoyment. Um, and then we've got Hercules Holders final event. How are you feeling about that?
I really don't know what I should think about it. I've read we use 50 millimeter rolling handles.
Yeah.
I really don't know how I should hold this.
To be honest, neither do I. I have no idea.
I've never done a Hercules hold.
No, me
I've
neither.
I've never used a 50 millimeter rolling thunder rolling implement.
Yeah.
So we will see.
We'll find out, won't we? We'll find out. Nah, I think it'll be a really cool comp. That it's really
Yeah.
interesting events and like fun events, isn't it? So it should be really wild and interesting to see.
It's a good variety of events.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Are you staying out afterwards so we can go on the sesh? Yeah,
Sure.
you
Yeah.
are. I'll convince you. I'll message Axel and say, right, we're off on the sesh. Don't tell her. She's coming out with us. You won't have a choice. I'll be there singing Pink Pony Club, pissing everybody off.
Okay, then I have to go with you.
Absolutely. It'll be great. It'll be loads of fun.
Yeah.
Right. Brilliant. Do we have any final strongman bugs to bear then? Anything you would like to add? Anything you would like to say about strongman before we move on to silly goosing?
No, I think I've said everything about strongmen I know.
That's all my information gone.
All I know about it.
Well, it's a lot. It is a lot of information, so amazing. Right, time for our silly goose segment then.
Silly goose. It's silly goose time, where our lips get loose and our minds run free. Silly goose. It's silly goose time, where we chat a load of shit that's of absolutely no use. It's silly goose time.
First of all, do you have any silly gooses you would like to bring to the table?
No, I bet on you. You have a good one.
I actually do today. I have a really interesting one that's been just in the back of my mind now for a few days, and I'm just curious to find out what you think about it. So I'll provide a little bit of context. So dolphins, yeah, we all know dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
So wild dolphins are really heavily protected. Like you're not allowed to go and swim with them, you're not allowed to go near them, you're not allowed to be like listening to them, like
Mm-hmm.
anything. So and the government are really strict on this. Like this is more of an American thing, I think, than UK. I mean, I don't think you can get near wild dolphins in the UK, but in America it's apparently a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, why can we not go and hang out with the dolphins? What do the dolphins know that we aren't allowed to know? This is the question.
Okay. The common opinion is dolphins are very intelligent.
Yeah.
So maybe they know everything about everyone. Who knows?
The dolphins are spying on us. Is that what you're trying to
Yeah,
say?
yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
And so you're not allowed to hang out with them.
because they're what are they spying for the government on us?
No, maybe. The government is saying you don't can hang out with them, so it have to be a reason.
That's a very like straightforward, pragmatic way to think about that. I feel like you've given me the most sensible answer to the stupidest question that I could think of. You've gone right. What's the straightforward answer to this? It's this.
I think that's the German way of thinking.
You are very German.
I
So
I can't help myself.
well, so see, my theory is so I'm a bit of a believer that the aliens are under the sea, right? So that the aliens are already here, they're already there, they're under the sea because we don't know anything about the sea. There's loads of places we've never been. We don't know
Mm-hmm.
anything, do we? So what I think is that the dolphins know. The dolphins know that the aliens are there, or whatever is deep in the sea. They know what's there, and the government are trying to stop us from finding them. So they're cutting off our supply line to the dolphins to then be able to find the aliens.
Hmm.
That's what
Good
I
thing,
think.
but I think the aliens stick to the universe, so they are not in the sea.
Do you not think? What do you think's at the bottom of the sea though? There's got to be something. There's got to be something down there. What's down there? What's in that 80% of the sea that's never been discovered?
The
What they're
void.
keeping? The void. Nothing, just the void.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fair enough. I'd like to think there was more interesting things down there, but do you
Yeah.
think you could speak to dolphins? Do you think you would swim with a dolphin, or do you think you're scared of them?
No, I think I would be scared.
I think I would be scared of dolphins.
If they are so intelligent, they have something in mind you don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't want to swim with them.
Yeah, I always feel like if I ever got like shipwrecked and I was struggling and I saw a dolphin, that would instill about as much fear as a shark would into me. I don't feel like I would be like, yay, a dolphin's here, I'm saved. I'd be like, oh no. I love how you just don't know what to make of this now. This has gone too far. Your
Don't know
German
what to
brain's
say
like,
about this.
this is fucking terrible. Why have I agreed to be on this podcast?
No. I love to
No.
be here.
Ah, that's what we like to hear. Well, so yeah, you've heard it here first. The dolphins are spying on us from the government, or they're protecting the aliens. Let me know what you guys think when you're listening, and see what you think the dolphins are hiding from us. But I guess we'll never know. Well, we might do at some point, though. I think the government will give it up, won't they? They'll tell us eventually. Maybe.
I guess they won't tell us.
Probably not now. Right, let's leave it there then. Is there anything else you would like to add at the end of the podcast? And plug yourself. What are you on? Are you on Instagram? Can we find you? Can we follow you? If people want to ask you for programming tips, where can they find you?
Please don't ask me for strongman tips.
Don't ask me questions.
No, you can ask me questions, of course. You can find me on Instagram. My name is how do you call this line underline?
Underscore.
Yeah, 2 times, then Sabrina.re.
Yeah, perfect. I'll tag you in the show notes as well. So if you want to follow Sabrina, you can find her on Instagram. And any final words for the podcast, Sabrina?
I really enjoyed to be here. Thank you for your invite. I hope I could show my perspective on the sport and how to do things different than many other do. So
Yeah. I love that. Love getting a completely different perspective. It's been great. Well, thank you very much for being on, and we will see you all next time. Goodbye. Thanks for listening to this episode of Strong Woman Highs, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to support the podcast, then please give us a follow on Instagram. Or if you would like, we're also on buymeacoffee.com/strongwomanhighs. This is where you can send us tips, or you can also join our membership area, which is $5 a month or £4 a month. It's the silly gosling level. We'll post out any extra content that we get on there, and hopefully a few little free giveaways of things as well. The podcast currently doesn't cost a lot to run, which is what we're trying to keep it as, but we would like to be able to cover our costs, and also once those costs are covered, any profit that is made on Strong Woman Highs will be getting saved up and put into a pot for future Strong Woman competitions that we can sponsor. So if you have a Strong Woman competition that you'd like to be sponsored, or if you want to be on the podcast, then give us a shout, send me a message on Instagram or on YouTube, anywhere else you can get us, and we'll get it sorted, because the more women that we can get on, the better. Thanks for listening and watching. Bye!